Hey, Jensen. What's good? Merry Christmas. Okay, good. My mic is on for once. Hello, Mood. What's good? What's good, YouTube? Let's just wait for some people to join. Oh, no tunes today from Jensen. I think we got one from Mix Warp. And our first one's from Jiziv. Can't download it. Looks like it's finished and released. So, not that my feedback's going to matter much. But yeah, let's start on this one. That sub note, the one that's playing now, resonates like crazy in my room. I don't know if it's just me. None of the other notes are doing that. Like it feels like it's way too loud, but then as soon as it switches to another note, it stops. Like that heavy resonation of the nation. But yeah, so far I dig the drums and like the overall vibe. The hats remind me of Ben Burma. You know, that track, actually, a lot of stuff reminds me of that track in here. Which track am I thinking of? Beyond Beliefs? Yeah. Beyond Beliefs vibes. Yeah, you've also got the little plucky thing. Yeah, man, this is cool. I just think that sub, I mean, even just looking at this spectrogram here, you can see that sub is like super loud. I like the melody and I like those little bass growls and stuff. Those are cool.
goes wrong, you write a song, 'cause that's what you know. A fresh start with two hearts, not beating alone. I'm on the change, you look away, pretending you don't. The goodbyes and our time.
There's a lot of resonance like in the lower mids. If you look at this spectrogram here, look at that bottom harmonic that's like super bright down there.
Come back down, I'm falling. One more shot, I'm falling down. Take my hand, I'm holding what you say. No, can't stop now, I'm sorry. One more look, I'm in the clouds. All these games of torment that you play. No.
Yeah, but I dig the vocal and like overall I think it's a really nice tune. Just I think you could have done the mix down a little better, toning down the sub a bit and then EQing that vocal, like the lower resonant tones out of it.
Come back down, I'm falling. One more shot, I'm falling down. Take my hand, I'm holding what you say. No, can't stop now, I'm sorry. One more look, I'm in the clouds. All these games of torment that you play. No.
By the way, I forgot to turn on donations. I've just re-enabled them in case anybody's been trying to donate. I know, it's crazy how fast the year's gone by. Trying to donate 1 million. If you donate $1 million to me, I'll give you free feedback for an entire year. Okay, yeah, I enjoyed that. Nice tune. I would definitely put that back on in the background and listen to it while I was like jamming games with my mates or something. I'm not sure, like the drums, I'm not sure if this track would like work really well in like a club or anything, but it's really nice just like listening at home because the drums aren't like very, I don't know, like especially the hats and stuff. It's like a really simple kind of loop, and the offbeat hat is like really low down, like not very bright. And I would have usually said it doesn't, like you'd need to like give it a bit more of a transient up in the high end and stuff, but I think it suits the track, so that's why I didn't say anything. But yeah, I think it's a really nice like casual listening tune. Just 1 year. Yep, $1 million for a year of feedback. Free feedback for $1 million. Thanks, Sunklow, for the $13. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you too. Let's see if Sunklow is. Oh yes, Inoa. Oh, come on. Enable downloads, Gaz. Don't want to listen to shitty SoundCloud compression. You ended your D&B set the other week with the Deck the Halls drum and bass remix. That is just sounds awful. Please don't ever do that in front of me. I like this, but I'd like to hear a bit more like unpredictability in the pad. Like it's just doing the same kind of movement. Like, I don't mean notes wise. I mean like putting like LFOs onto stuff to make it kind of like go out of sync and do weird stuff that's like unpredictable. So like putting an LFO on sync mode so that it doesn't reset every time you play a new chord or a new note, and then setting it to like a low speed so that it's the cycle of the LFO happens over like an uneven amount of beats or bars, like 3 beats or 3 bars or something, and that way, and then you map it to like the filter or something, and that way you get like this pad sound that is continuously doing something different it's doing different things at the same point in each measure. And that just makes things feel a lot more alive. And then take like another LFO and do the same thing, but do it at a different rate. So like, you know, a third of the rate of the other one or something. And map it to some other parameter like noise or even like pitch or something. You can do that. Whatever it is, but I just like to hear that pad being more alive because the track is like really simple, the rhythm's really simple, and so I'm just like kind of listening to that pad, but the pad is also just not very exciting. So yeah. Sorry to run the... We'll listen through that again. But he enabled download, so let's download it quick. Yeah, I think I'd still like to see more of a intricate drum progression, like adding just like a nice busy top loop with hats like sprinkled all around, and would be, I think, quite nice in this. I don't know if you bring it in later, we'll find out. But what is the tempo of this? Is it 122? Yeah. Yeah, like these enamel drum loops are so nice. Like, I bet this would sound good over that. Yeah, that's a really cool section there. Kind of gives me Rufus Du Sol vibes. What I was thinking is this little like LFO wub thing. That's too mono. I think just taking, I don't know what synth you've used. If it's Diva, use the chorus inside of Diva, but if not, then use the Ableton chorus and mix it into like 40% or something, just to push that wub synth out a little bit more to the side so it feels a bit more stereo, but still sitting mostly in the middle. And then when the drums come in, all the rest of the drums, in my opinion, it kind of fights the groove. There's something about it that's not really pushing the groove forward, it's like holding it back. I think it might be the shaker. Like if you compare it to this loop that I put in earlier, this one feels like it drives the groove a bit better. compared to this one. Yeah, I think the shakers are like, they kind of like holding me back. They don't, it doesn't feel like it makes me want to move more than this section. This track would sound so good with like a Rufus style vocal over it. But I really do, I dig the synth and the like melodies and stuff. They sound really good. The shaker was made to drag. It's late. Well then I would just remove it because yeah, it's definitely not working in my opinion. Like sometimes you can hear like drum grooves that are like sloppy and like things are late and out of time, but it works. And it like, if you listen to like Flume and stuff, he does that a lot. Like everything's like off the grid and a little bit out of time, but the way he does it, like it still drives the groove forward. But in this case, it's like that sloppiness is holding the groove back in my, like it just feels like that. You know, you just got to go by feeling with these kind of things. It's not a bad idea to like make something like late or early or whatever. Sometimes like taking your offbeat hi-hat and delaying it like forward or back a little bit can take the groove into like a whole new space. But don't just do it for the sake of doing it. Do it and then listen and feel like, is this improving it or is it making it worse or is it neutral? And yeah, so just work like that. I think over here I wouldn't do what you've just done, like opening up that allophone, just letting the synth be plain like it is. I don't think it really feels like exciting or good. Like it's okay to open it up like you've done, and then I would just lock that LFO again over here and bring back the wub wubs because they feel really nice, but this doesn't. Yeah, so you said you don't know how to make everything feel like a climax? Yeah, so I think you could probably build like more harmony into this or add something that like complements that synth, like another lead element that like sort of does a counter melody or something. But the back of this track feels pretty empty. Like I can hear there's a pad, but I think there's more room for like additional harmonies and pads and stuff, so you could probably fill it out. You could even put like some strings in the background or something, or a choir or something. Yeah, Bjorn's suggestion of adding a ride and a 1 octave on the synth, plus 1 octave on the synth, that's a good idea. 1 plus 1 octave is always adds a bit of hype. And a little violin sustain note on top could work too. But yeah, good one, man. I enjoyed this one. Okay, Rebel of Sleep. You know what, you could also add like some new drum elements. And for inspiration, you could listen to someone like Kiasmos, where they start out with the drums pretty simple like you did, but over time, like all these rhythms just keep coming in, and by the end of it, like it's this really full like percussion like ensemble of really like organic stuff, like they've played it themselves. And I think that sounds really good. So you could keep actually the musical stuff the way it is, but build up all their tension and build it up to that finale with like crazy cool percussion. That would be fun. Anyway, let's go to Rebel. Let's roast Rebel of Sleep and his fancy ass glasses and his ramen like hair. I'm kidding, dude. I love your hair. It's amazing. But it looks a little bit like ramen. So you said you're having problems with the low end. In my opinion, the problem is that your kick is higher up than your sub almost all the time, frequency wise. So it's like your sub is almost like overpowering the kick, and I'm not really feeling the punch in the sub from the kick. So you could try turning down your sub and just a little bit, I think, and then finding a kick that's sitting a bit lower down frequency wise. And this is why I don't mean to like shill my sample pack here, but this is why I labeled all my kicks with hertz, so you know where the sub is sitting. So if you're writing a track and your lowest note is G, like 50 hertz, maybe you want a kick that's sitting like, down here, 47. And that way it's like sitting down there and like supporting the whole track, and you can feel the punch. But the other thing I would recommend you definitely do is to reference tracks when you feel like the low end's shitty on your track, using this like mini meters over here and And the spectrogram, you can compare it to a reference track. And let's just like search for something. I don't know, what would... I'm just trying to think of tracks that have sustained bass lines. Aura? Does Aura have a sustained bass line? I think it does from memory. So yeah, this one's got a sustained bass line, and I think it's mixed pretty well. So you can go and take this and just solo it and kind of look at the spectrogram and see how loud the sub is. Well, there you can see exactly what I was talking about. Like his kick is sitting underneath the sub and like supporting it, and you can really feel like the punch from the kick. But in yours, like I don't really feel like a groove from the kick because it just feels like just one long sausage down in the sub. Yeah, referencing helps a lot. Where were we? Around here, I think. You mean I have to choose a lower kick? Yeah, either choose a lower kick or maybe transpose your sub up, like not just your sub, but the entire track, change it to a different key that's like 4 semitones higher or something. I like this breakdown. That synth that's like going doom, 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 doom. I think it would sound better if you just took out that really sharp high end, like low pass it to like 7K or something. yeah, I'm digging this. Nice vibes on that harp. I like the melody. Cool. Good stuff, man. Mix warp. Need to know how to tame this one. Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas to you too. Thank you. Still trying to find my sound. Me too, man. Me too. Oh, I really don't like how that hat is landing on the kick. It sounds really like sharp. It's like landing right on the transient. I would just take that hat out completely. Yeah, the low end also feels like it's struggling to breathe a little bit. I think maybe it's better to not have like such a sustained bass. Let it like tail off a bit. Bring down the sustain to like 50% and then a nice long decay, like a 2-second decay or something. Maybe turn down the sub a bit. I really struggle with low end on these new monitors because, yeah, I mean, I worked on the same monitors for pretty much about 6 years, a little bit more, and they were these tiny little 5-inch subs, rear ported, and now I've got these big ass focals, which are, I mean, they're not big in comparison to most producers, but for me they're like huge, and they're front ported, and so like sub just blasts straight into my face, and so like all sub pretty much feels too loud to me now. But I feel like the sub in this is too loud. I mean, taking that into account, I still feel like the sub is too much on this. I mean, in contrast to the kick, at least. Maybe it just needs a bit more separation, like a bit of a deeper side chain between the kick and the sub. I like that melody. That bam, 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 bam. That's a nice melody. Yeah, and what makes it twice as bad in my room is, I don't know, yeah, you can see those bass traps that I made with Rockwool. They're like proper bass traps. I made them myself, and they're super thick. They're like 6 inches thick and like stuffed with mineral wool, so they really do absorb a lot of sub. And those were reaborted, these M Audios. And there was not a lot of sub coming out of them anyway. So it's like all that sub got sucked into those things and just didn't go anywhere else into the room. And now these have got a bigger driver on them, and they're front ported. And this port is huge, and it freaking just comes straight out of here. And yeah, I think it's like ruined this room completely. I need to treat it better because I just constantly have issues. Like certain notes just resonate like crazy. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really know what to do. I wish there was somebody that I could just hire to like come into my room with a microphone and tune it and like sort it out. But that's probably super expensive. And I Googled my ass off and could not find anybody that does it. Everybody, like if you search for like acoustic consultants or acoustics and stuff, it's all like industrial stuff, like people who do acoustics for offices and I don't know, big arenas and stuff. So I guess I probably have to just learn how to do it myself, and still it'll probably be super expensive. Yeah, so sorry, back to this track. This section didn't really do much for me. I think what I would do here is take out that bass synth and replace it with a different kind of synth. You could even replace it with like a piano or just like a plain sub or something. And maybe get like a more interesting tail going on the lead synth. Because at the moment it's just like plain old delay kind of tail. Might be cool to load up something like frequency echo or crystallizer and just mess with it and try and get super cool delay tails, because the section doesn't really have much going for it, but you could keep the listener interested if you did super cool stuff between each like phrase. So one thing, and this is feedback that I actually got from one of my own tunes, on one of my own tunes from Inama, and I'm also guilty of this, is like you have these alternating patterns, like the one goes dun 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 dun, and the one goes dun 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 dun. And I feel like the second variation of that kind of takes away the emotion of the first one. The first one feels nice and emotional, but the second one doesn't. And what he said to me was, like, don't be afraid to just repeat the pattern. Otherwise, if you don't repeat the pattern, it's not really a pattern if you keep on making these variations. So like, maybe repeat that pattern like 3 times, and then on the last one, you do that high note. But in this case, I wouldn't even do that high note because it doesn't feel like emotional to me, but this first one feels quite emotional. So yeah, maybe just try a different note, but only do it on the last repetition throughout this entire section. And then like hats wise, this is a really tough one to give feedback on because it's like completely trial and error, but I just don't like the hats in this track. I think they're too, like the transient is too harsh. And then like the body, like the character of them is just too, I don't know, like tinny and like mixture of tinny and plasticky. It's hard to describe. But like usually when I'm playing with hats that sound like this, like you know, like a hat like this, you have to start. Actually, if I load that into a sampler, it's easier to show you. Yeah, so like with hats, it's really difficult, but usually bringing the attack up, bringing down the sustain a bit, yeah. So now this hat has gone from sounding like ass to sounding really nice in my opinion, just from playing with the attack and decay. So try that with all your hats, just adjusting the attack and decay and seeing if they improve or if they don't. Even there it sounds good and it's not quite as shakery anymore. Yeah, so yeah, like what I noticed was I used to, well I still do, is every time I finish a track I drag in a reference and then like really focus on the hats and try and try to get my hat sounding as close to the other track's hats as possible. So usually when I finish a track, the hats that were in that track for the whole freaking like 2 months of me writing this track, suddenly I swap out all the samples and basically the entire top loop changes because I try and like get it sounding like my reference track, and it always improves the track tenfold. So it's one of my biggest like aha moments since I started producing, was that like the drum loop, especially the top end of the drum loop, is huge in making a track sound good. definitely, if you remove that hat from the quarter note, like landing on the kick, that one would already improve the track so much. Just taking that straight out. Yeah, I think the chord progression is nice. That didn't really stand out as like boring or anything to me, so yeah, I like it. Okay, let's go back to the cue. Rawad S. I like this. I think this yeah, I like that little lead. Like melodically it's nice. I think maybe it's a little like harsh. I wonder how it would sound an octave down or layered with an octave and low passed a little bit, just to take out the like really harsh high end of it. And then the drop feels nice. Bit weird, this arrangement here, how it like suddenly drops in back into this lead for just 4 bars or something, 8 bars. Yeah, 4 bars. And then straight into a breakdown. It kind of, before you even get a chance to take in what's happening, it's like it's changed twice. So Yeah, so by this point in the track, this high lead, it's not really doing anything for me emotionally. I liked the first version of it over here. So I'd probably just stick to that pattern through the track, but play it like at different octaves and modulate the synth and automate it a bit more. Oh, thank God somebody finally noticed my RGB keyboard. Yeah, I got it today. And it's, I've got this sweet little app over here. And I can do all these like cool, I feel like I'm 13 again. It's a little bit embarrassing, but yeah, I can do all these cool like effects on my keyboard. I don't know if you can see that. Look at that. Hey, how fun is that? Rainbow wave. This is exciting stuff. Color shift. Not so fun. Oh yes, this one's cool. What up, bruh? I opted for the, actually there's one called, Visualizer. I want to figure out how to make this work because I think it responds to music. And if I can make that happen, how cool would that be during Feedback Friday? My keyboard like changing color every time, you know, it hits, the kick drum hits. And this is like watercolor. It's fun times. I'm gonna stick to this one because this one, every time I type, hit a button, colors radiate out from that button. It's pretty fun. Is that made by Skittles? Possibly. Looks like it was. Anyway. I think you could have probably extended this little break and had like this piano repetition like doubled, and then in this section you add a sub under it for like big emotion. You should have let the manufacturer know you're promoting their keyboard to your viewers. I honestly don't think they would care. I have like 29 viewers. They've probably, this is Corsair, I think. Corsair? Yes, it's Corsair. And I think they sponsor like Twitch gamers that have like 40,000 viewers per stream. I don't think they'd care. So, yeah. Whatever. All right. Who next? Oh, okay, fine. I'll tell you what it is. It's K60. It's mechanical too. So check this out. You can like take I've just taken the spacebar straight off. Boom. And I'll be able to get it back on pretty easily as long as I put it the right way around. Have I just ruined this? Yeah, it's mechanical and it makes like cool sounds when you type. It feels so nice. I've only had it for a few hours. I was using this piece of shit before. I typed on it so much. Look at that. The all the lettering came off of the keyboard. Luckily, I'm such like a veteran typer that I knew exactly where my W-A-S-D keys and C key. Apparently, I use those the most. W-A-S and C and X. And I use Alt and Shift a shit ton too. And Control. Yeah, it's a nice keyboard. Anyway, let's get back to the stream. Who's next? Who did we just listen to? Rawad. Okay, next up is Alex Kua. No, bruh. Mastered with Thunder. Apparently it's not a very good master. Because it's not it looks compressed, but it's not like at 0 dB. Sunklow has the K70. Obviously, he's one-upping me. One of the chords just doesn't really sit right with me. Like that chord change there just doesn't feel very nice to me. Yeah, that ding ding. Emotionally, I'm not a huge fan of that chord change.
And then I saw you with a girl, I cried a lie. I know you're cheated, so I just let in my heart. Now I will make you bite your fingers, it will hurt. I know my words that won't come back, but period.
Yeah, I think in a song like this, it's like a Tool Room style track. I think you got all the right sounds for it, but the chord progression is the one that will like take this track from not working to, doing really well. So I would just focus on figuring out this chord progression that like really drives a lot of emotion. I would probably scrap the whole chord progression and rewrite it like from the ground up. Because you've got like this classic like M1 house piano, and the vocal suits the style, the drums, everything like suits it, and even mix-wise it sounds right, I think. So yeah, I think if you just spend like a session or two just writing new chord progressions, maybe you'll stumble upon one that drives that emotion that you're looking for, because this one just doesn't feel memorable or catchy or emotional. It just feels, I don't know, like just a random chord progression. Oh, yeah, and that sounded out of key there. Lots of dissonance through that section. I think the lead is going out there. Yeah. Ooh, no, not good. Nah, I'm not a fan of how you've just pitched down that vocal an octave. I would just take out the vocal in this section and only have the instruments and the drums playing. Yeah, I think you have all the right sounds, but if you just nail down the chord progression and that melody, I think you'd have a decent track. It's pretty much my feedback. I think I like the drums and everything else feels like it fits. Yeah, I think the mixing's okay. Okay, it's going to be the last couple of songs. I really don't like this kick. It's got like no transient and then the body is really resonant. And really mid-rangey and like boxy. Also, I don't like the hi-hats, especially the offbeat hat. It's like this really like thick, like tech house hat, but then you got this like atmospheric kind of melodic elements. Yeah, that drum fill was really out of place there. Like super loud and just not fitting the track. Like I think you got to decide, is this like an atmospheric, like ambient kind of chill track, or you're trying to make like a tech housey track? It kind of feels like the drums are like techy with these like really thick hi-hats, and then you got this like really atmospheric, like ambient kind of musical elements. Yeah, it's just not really, like nothing fits together. Merry Christmas, Mix Warp. Thanks for joining. Yeah, it's like all the pads and stuff feel like not very dynamic. Like there's just this constant like in the background, and then this that sound is also not moving much. It's just like very straight, and I think overall, like everything just needs a bit of work. I think it sounds like you probably just need to like. Let me try and say this without being mean. Melodically, the track, I think, it doesn't sound bad. But I think, you're like at the stage where you're kind of figuring things out, and you just need to keep on just making song after song after song. And I was once there too, and doing the same thing that you're doing. So yeah, I'm not trying to like discourage you. I'm trying to encourage you to just sit there and just write more music, just keep on going. And it's kind of hard to give like feedback, like specific things that you need to work on, because it's kind of like everything needs to be worked on it at the same time. And the only way to do that is to just keep writing tune after tune, while like listening to all your favorite artists and kind of comparing the differences between yours and their songs, and trying to like close that gap, constantly like working towards that. Okay, so we're going to do one more song for the day. And that is Culver.
I guess you're back. Are you gonna tell me where you went? All the messages I sent with no reply. It's like that. You're just gonna walk into my room. I hate how you assume there will always be a place for you by my side, day or night. You know that it's killing me. Why do you always leave?
Oh, I was about to say, this is a really nice vocal. I mean, it is a nice vocal, but over here it gets a bit weird.
You know that it's killing me. Why do you always leave? It's not right.
Yeah, it sounds a bit out of key there.
It's not right. We don't fight. But I know.
I mean, the notes you playing on your synths sound in a different key to the vocal, just through this section.
But I know what you've been through. I'll take the pleasure and the pain, the sorrows in your brain. 'Cause I know you're on the run. I'll take the pleasure and the pain, receive it to my grave. 'Cause you are the only one.
I think you have the right idea in this track. Like the drop feels nice, but mix wise the kick is like really boxy.
You're the only one.
Yeah, the drum sound design is just, I mean, sound choice is just not really blowing me away.
I guess you're back. Are you gonna tell me where you went? All the messages I sent with no reply. It's like that. You're just gonna walk into my room. I hate how you assume there will always be a place for you by my side, day or night. You know that it's killing me. Why do you always leave? It's not right. We don't fight, but I know what you've been through. I'll take the pleasure and the pain, the stars in your brain, 'cause I know you're on the run. I'll take the pleasure and the pain, see this through my way, 'cause you are the only one.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that side chain through this section. I think overall the side chain could probably be dialed back a bit. Okay. Let me just double check something. Okay, what do you guys want me to do for my next? I'm going to do another little live stream now. Do you want a production live stream or me to play some music, DJ set? What do you want? Vote now. Merry Christmas, Amato. 22 is going to be awesome, hopefully. Production. One vote for production. Make a remix. A remix of who? You know what's crazy? I realized this year. So every Thursday I write a track. Pretty much most of the time it's like a full track. Like at the end of my live stream I have a pretty much a finished track that just needs, you know, like fine tuning and like ear candy and like mixing and stuff done to it. So if I finish Omicron banger. If I've been finishing a track every week the entire year, plus having done 10 tracks in 10 days live streams, plus like a few remixes between and originals that I've been writing between all of that, like I've probably written like close to 100 tracks this year, like finished tracks. And I've only released like 11, I think. But that's pretty crazy. I mean, I've never done that in the first like 5 years. I would definitely wasn't finishing that many tracks, but that's pretty crazy, I think. Oh yeah, I mean, and that's not even all of it. Like, I also do tracks for like I write tracks for courses and YouTube videos and like all these remakes and shit. It's pretty crazy how much time I spend just making shit in Ableton. And I still don't know how to use Ableton. Make a remix of Tale of Us. Christmas melodic remix. Yeah, maybe we should do jingle. No. Brian, stop it with the fucking jingle bells. Oh, hang on. Wi-Fi is calling. Hey, I'm live streaming. Oh, okay. I just locked my Wi-Fi at the house. I'll be right back. My daughter gave me a gingerbread man. Play the Deck the Halls D&B track. Jesus, dude. You are relentless. Slap the walls.
Folks, last night
You know what? I'll play like a little bit of it.
I took a stroll down Hollywood Boulevard, and you know, strange things are happening there. Store windows have been turned into glittering fairylands. Street corners are sprouting lighted trees, and everyone seems to be wearing a very special kind of a glow. So I said to myself, you know something? It's beginning to look like Christmas. 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 It's beginning to look like
I never want to hear that again in my life. I hate it. Yeah, I think my wife's angry with me because I'm sitting here on Christmas Eve streaming. Maybe I shouldn't do a second stream. I don't know. Okay, cool. So we've had like some votes for remixes and Christmas stuff. Guys, I'm not sure. I'll let you know on Discord if I do another one. But have a lovely Christmas. Thanks for sending in all your tunes. And yeah, I'll see you next week for some more live